in his non-throwing shoulder. He will sit. Case Keenum will get the nod. That is tomorrow when the Browns host the Broncos. Big Swagoo is here. Marcus Spears. Marcus, good to see you, sir.
What's up, Molly Q? Hey, man, don't be looking at me like that.
I mean, what you want, man? What you want, man?
Don't be looking at me like that. I know the NBA done started. You got countdown tonight. I know you own one. So don't come at me like that. Let me and Molly enjoy being happy while you give me all of them frowns.
Well, first of all, that makes me laugh. That makes me laugh because he's trying to act like he looks happy. Most of the time, you frowning, huffing and puffing like you blowing somebody's house down. But now all of a sudden I need to leave you alone to be happy.
You bring that out of me. Every time I come on this show, I smile when I see Molly, and then you do something or say something, and then I got to frown.
Who the hell doesn't smile when they see Molly? I mean, damn. True. I mean, why'd you just say the sky's blue and get it over with? I mean, what does that mean? And one of those gazelles or something. What are those, Ma? I mean,
I don't know what those
are. Is that a pair that Jalen Rose gave you? Is that what that is?
They're not gazelles.
This is black trim with marble, big homie. Big homie. I'm just trying to take lessons from somebody. I'm gonna do it publicly. Shout out to 9-5ers, by the way. They're my glasses, folks.
That's it.
Yeah.
Okay.
I like it. A lot of range.
Glasses look good.
A lot of range. He's got a collection there. All right, can we get to the breaking news, guys?
Yes, we
No
can.
Baker Mayfield. Your reaction here, Marcus Spears. I know they're going to be missing 2 of their top offensive linemen and 2 of their top running backs as well. So not easy for Case Keenum.
Yeah, absolutely. It's smart, though, Molly. And obviously we know Baker dealing with that shoulder. But when you look at this team, I think this is bigger than that. Baker in this particular situation wouldn't be insulated. And look, I know this is about to go crazy. I don't know if he would be better in this situation, to be honest with you, based on how they've been running offense and how he's been operating in this offense for the Cleveland Browns. The offensive line, as you mentioned, 2 tackles missing. We saw that show up. Obviously, Baker being injured. Not having Kareem Hunt and Nick Chubb fully healthy is to me the biggest detriment, because that's been the biggest reason for me that we've seen Baker take this jump at playing at a high level throughout the duration of games. And when you think about Case Keenum a couple years ago, he was in Minnesota balling, and it was with his arm. So it may be a situation. One, you got a franchise quarterback in Baker Mayfield. That's how they look at him. That can't be protected. He can't protect himself. He's injured. The run game is not available at the level it's been available at. And now you have to put him out here in harm's way. You have to ask him to actually win games, which has been the question for me when it comes to Baker Mayfield. Are you a carrier of a football team, or are you a guy that's a part of what is happening? And we can determine the quarterbacks that carry their football teams, the ones that are literally the reason why they win. I don't believe he's that guy, so it's great to take him out while he's injured and let Case Keenum take a shot at it.
Well, first of all, I appreciate you finally admitting that, because it seems like I've been taking you a little while to bring you to that party. He's a guy that's a part of the football team. Baker Mayfield ain't carrying anything. And everybody was sitting there getting on me, Swagoo, when I pointed that out. I was like, wait a minute here. The brother's no scrub. I didn't say he doesn't deserve to be a starter, but he ain't that dude, He ain't Lamar Jackson. He ain't a Josh Allen. He ain't even a Justin Herbert. He damn sure ain't no Patrick Mahomes. That's not who he is, and they're all within his conference. So when I look at Cleveland, and it's like the same thing that I've said, in the past before. It's like I go to several layers before I even think about bringing up Baker Mayfield. I'm going to go to the running game, okay? I'm going to go to Chubb and Hunt, who are both hobbled right now. Obviously, Hunt's going to be out for at least the next 3 weeks. The offensive line, you lost 2 tackles, okay? You had Odell Beckham Jr., you got Jarvis Landry, okay? You got the coach that is Kevin Stefanski, because we know what they were looking like when Freddie Kitchens was the head coach. So you got all of that going on. You get to all of that before you even think about Baker Mayfield. So if that's the reality of the situation, it wasn't breaking news when I said Baker Mayfield can't lead the Cleveland Browns to a Super Bowl title. Could they win it? Sure. But it ain't going to be because he's leading them. It's going to be because of those other components, and I don't think there's anything wrong with saying that.
100%. You and I fight on a lot of things. We ain't fighting on this. We in full agreement. That's why I get so sick when people tell me about Jimmy Garoppolo led the San Francisco 49ers to the Super Bowl. It's not the same. And when we look at this is my thing with Baker, S.A., and I'm glad you mentioned those other guys. I'm glad you mentioned Lamar and Pat and Justin Herbert, because here's the bottom line. And this is what I've been saying and fighting with Dan Orlovsky about. You're going to fight with him tomorrow, I'm sure. Baker Mayfield, in his division, in his conference, he's played well throughout games. We've seen Baker Mayfield have 300-plus games, 3 touchdown-plus games. But what are we judging these quarterbacks on? We judging them on, especially when we enter you into Super Bowl contention. We are no longer talking about you winning games. We are no longer talking about you having a successful season. We are determining what these quarterbacks' value is based on winning games in crunch time. And this year alone, Baker is 0-2. Now, I'm not going to sit here and talk like the shoulder injury is not an issue. It is. Dan illustrated yesterday on NFL Live, 4 p.m. Eastern, by the way, every day, that right. Baker Mayfield's ability to throw the football is so compromised because he's trying to compensate for what the shoulder, what he's dealing with his shoulder. But even before that, S.A., even before the injury, Kansas City Chiefs against the Cleveland Browns, Baker Mayfield had the ball last in his hands and threw an interception.
That's right.
That is what these games are going to come down to for them if they are going to win a Super Bowl. I'm not in the crowd that believes Baker will deliver. It will be, to your point, the run game, the offensive line, and God forbid the defense playing terrible. The Browns fans should be in a spin cycle right now. They had a whole different plan about how this season was going to go, what things they were going to do. You can't avoid injury, but this defense that damn near gave up 80 points in 2 weeks. Baker Mayfield has played well. He hasn't done enough for us to say that they can win a Super Bowl with him at quarterback.
It's a couple of things, my brother. I need you to get back in math class. They gave up 47 one day. They gave up 30. They gave up 37 the next. That's like 84. So it's not damn near 80. It's over 80. That's number one. Number two. Okay, it's nice to see you finally come to the party because once again, I sat up there and I said that the same thing about Jimmy Garoppolo when he was in San Francisco. I said you look at Shanahan, you look at Deebo Samuels, you look at George Kittle. You look at all of that before you look at Bosa and the crew and their defense. I said you look at all of that before you even get to Garoppolo. So Baker Mayfield is basically the AFC's version of Garoppolo. All you had to say, Marcus Spears, was that my brother Stephen A. S.A., I mean, this brother was right all along, and I should have acknowledged a little bit earlier that I was right. I mean, that's all you had to do. That's all you had to do.
Let me say this. I don't be trying to come on here and agree with you. I love disagreeing with you. That's like my favorite thing to do. But the bottom line is when I watch you argue with them cats, with my brothers, our fellow analyst colleagues, they are wrong when it comes to Baker Mayfield. Like, you threw for 300 yards. You know who else throwing for 300 yards? Trevor Lawrence. You know who else throwing for 300 yards? Zach Wilson. But they can't win games. It's about, can your quarterback overcome what he needs to overcome in order for you to win a championship? And you and I just ain't there yet with Baker.
There we go.
All right, hard out, fellas. Still plenty more to come here on First Take. One of the best shooters of all time, Tim Legler.